Hi everybody, my name is Mike Montgomery, and today I'm going to be showing you how I built this awesome wooden keepsake or jewelry box with a hidden compartment in the back on Modern Builds. So after my end table build, my friends at Brusso Hardware asked me if there were any cool projects that I could make that could really show off some of their hardware. And online I've seen some really cool hidden compartment box, and since I've seen those, I wanted to try one myself. So I decided to make a really cool keepsake or jewelry box that could be resized for anything that you want, and I'm using Brusso's brass hinges, knobs, and feet. Make sure and check the description. I'm going to leave a link to their website as well as all the products I use in my written article. Let's get started. For this project, I'm using a 1-inch thick piece of walnut, and I started by just running it through the planer to 3/4 inches. This got all the nicks out of it as well as helped flatten it out. Then I ran it through the table saw to get 2 clean edges. Once that was done, I cut a dado on one edge of the board, and this is going to hold the 1/2-inch piece of plywood that is going to be the bottom of the box. Then I cut another dado in the board, and the space between these 2 dados are what's going to be the space for the secret compartment, and this 1/8-inch piece of plywood is going to be the bottom of the box that you'll see when you open it. Then I cut another dado for the top of the box. And here I'm just measuring and marking how big of a box I think I can get out of this board. Now I'm doing something called grain matching, which basically means the grain wraps around the box and looks like a seamless piece of wood. And I did this by simply rotating the board as I went and cutting a side, a face, a side, and then a face. Now before I could glue everything up, I needed to cut out the drawer face of what will be my hidden compartment, and I did this on a scroll saw. Now I know this technique isn't going to make a perfectly invisible drawer, but I think it's going to look really cool, plus it'll be on the back of the box. So I just cleaned it up on the disc sander, then I made the rest of the drawer out of 1/2 and 1/8-inch plywood. And I just went with a really simple design here because it's all hidden. And once all that was dry, I ran it back through the disc sander to match the face. Next, I moved back to making the actual box by cutting the 1/8-inch piece of plywood that's going to be the fake bottom of the box and gluing all of it up. Now some of y'all with a sharp eye might notice that none of my box sides actually have the cutout for the drawer. That's because I accidentally filmed and did all this before I cut it out, and I had to take the box apart and re-glue it back up. But either way, after that was done, I mixed up some epoxy and I filled in a hole that I had in one of the faces, and then I got a handheld belt sander and flattened and squared everything up. And I'm using 180 grit sandpaper, that way it's not too aggressive and it doesn't take off too much wood at once. With all that dry, I went ahead and glued in the actual bottom of the box, which is just a 1/2-inch piece of plywood, and then I could test out my drawer. After that, I decided I wanted to go ahead and put the feet on the box, and all you have to do is mark and drill a hole partway through the bottom of the box with a 1/2-inch Forstner bit, and then they can knock right in. They're really cool because it's just a friction fit, so it fits really quick and easy. Then I was able to cut a 1/2-inch thick piece of walnut to size for the lid of my box. Now these hinges from Brusso that I'm using are called offset pivot hinges or knife hinges, whatever you want to call them, and they're really cool because they're a mostly hidden hinge. All you have to do is chisel or route out a recess for them to sit into, and all of the base of it is hidden. All you see is the very top. Now I'm no chisel expert and I don't have a ton of experience, so my recesses weren't a perfect fit and incredibly clean. But this was definitely a learning experience for me, and I definitely got better as I went along. Not to mention, once I had all these installed, they looked really slick. And like I said before, make sure and check Brusso out. They're super high quality and all made in America. With the lid on, I went ahead and sanded the whole outside of the box all the way up to 220 grit, and then installed the pull for the lid. And once I had that fitting perfect, I went ahead and put on a coat of Danish oil. Now I put on a really thick coat, let it sit for 30 minutes, and then wiped off any excess. That's how you get the best result. And then it was done. Now the box itself is really, really cool, but I think the hidden drawer on the back is just icing on the cake and it makes it super neat. And I really love that mix of dark walnut and the brass hardware. It doesn't get classier than that. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project. I really liked making it, and I think it is really, really beautiful. So last week I mentioned I created a community tab on my website full of viewer-submitted projects inspired by my videos. And I've gotten some really neat projects since then, but I've got a lot of room for a lot more. So if you've made or have been inspired by any of the designs that I've created, check out this link right here. It'll take you to a form where you can fill out all the information for your project and upload a few pictures. It'll just take a couple minutes. That way you can share the projects you've made with everybody. If this is your first time to my channel, I want to say welcome and subscribe, because I put out a new project video every week and you'll definitely want to stay updated and check those out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. That way I know what you're into. And if you've got any questions about this project, don't forget to leave me a comment. I try to get to all of those and answer all of those questions. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you want to keep up with me throughout the week, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Thanks, and we'll see you next week on Modern Builds.